Ahoy! Hi! Thanks for kegging my ship. You did not need to, though. Another one. Cool. Jessica and Jessica are the two pirates who co-captained their ship, the Salty Swallow. The ship, of course, got its name from the bird, the swallow. The crew dynamics are pretty straightforward on this sloop. Jessica, who can't walk by an open flame without throwing raw meat on it, often tells Jessica what to do. And Jessica just says yes to what Jessica says. Today, the Sea of Thieves was relatively quiet, which gave this crew a great opportunity to take their time, and I mean really take their time, and grind out some Athena reputation. By first doing an Athena skeleton fort raid. While pirate legends in their own right, neither Jessica nor Jessica were very fond of battle, and thus were happy to move through the fort uncontested. Sure, things were quiet for them now, but in an hour, every single ship on the server would be within their sight. But for now, they moved ahead with their fort. Although pirates didn't give them much trouble, the Skellies and Skeleton Lords definitely made them work for their loot. While moving the Athena treasure over to the ship, Jessica, following Jessica's orders, dug up a marked treasure map they had gotten while doing the fort. There's certain loot in Sea of Thieves that has a certain aura of being too great for any one crew to hold. Jessica had dug up something far stronger than a chest of legends or even a chest of fortune, a rag and bone crate. Unsure of what secrets and depth lied within the cloth of the crate, Jessica immediately reburied the crate. This treasure was simply too great for any one pirate to hold. Both Jessica and Jessica agreed to leave it at Crow's Nest Fortress. However, they both secretly wished they had taken it. With the loot they were taking on their ship, Jessica and Jessica headed to their next destination. While most of their loot laid atop their ship's deck, 2 gunpowder kegs sat in the front hull of their ship, very precariously. Although this seemed the safest spot, a rogue cannonball or fire could sink the ship before Jessica could tell Jessica what to do. Selling loot was important to Jessica and Jessica. Well, it's important for every pirate, but to them, it was part of their regular routine. They felt the need to stop by an outpost after visiting almost any island, meaning this Athena voyage they were now starting up was going to take a lot of time. Time that they maybe wouldn't have. The Salty Swallow had now arrived at Devil's Ridge, and while Jessica went to work, so did Jessica. They took down this unarmed skeleton captain in what was probably one of the most unfair fights in Sea of Thieves I've ever seen. Right after finishing up on Devil's Ridge, one thing became clear. The Salty Swallow was not alone in the Ancient Isles. A Reaper 1 was now headed straight towards Thieves Haven, one of their 2 destinations. The Salty Swallow did not enjoy combat, and throughout their journey, Jessica shared a bit as to why.
You ever have someone really harass you in the game? One night we had a boat harass us because we didn't have any treasure to give them. So she hopped on their boat and dropped all their treasure out the back while they chased me driving. They wouldn't leave us alone. They insisted we had treasure. We didn't.
Hearing all of this made their playstyle make a bit more sense. Lay as low and undetected as possible, sell very often, and if needed, run and keg. Although it may not be the most efficient playstyle, it seemed to work for them as things had been going smoothly until Crook's Hollow.
This bitch left me.
Jessica had left Jessica in the dust.
Have you ever seen a land shark?
And just when you thought everything was okay, Jessica walked by a campfire and decided she had to cook. She commanded Jessica go dig up the rest of the treasure, but unfortunately, Jessica's pirate was taking a nap standing up and unresponsive. Jessica decided she could find the treasure better herself anyway, and went off to search for the final X marks the spot location. Jessica had taken about 30 minutes to search for this treasure, which wouldn't be a problem if not for the cannon fire heard off in the distance. With Jessica still asleep on the ship, from atop Crook's Hollow, you could see two sloops, one being the Reaper, duking it out. Another sloop with a Siren Song quest item on it, and my sloop still parked at Crow's Nest Fortress. The whole server was within a square or two radius of the Salty Swallow, and Jessica began to panic. Digging and digging, Jessica finally dug up the treasure just in time. She took off and Jessica woke up. The Reaper was preoccupied in their fight to the north, but the sloop with the Siren Song quest item was getting closer. The Salty Swallow hung on though, laying low and beelining it to Ancient Spire to sell the loot that they had on their ship. The sloop that had remained nearby them had gone for a similar tactic and going straight to the other Siren Song quest item and heading north to deliver, completely ignoring them. Meaning the Salty Swallow was in the clear for now. After selling, making a brief stop at a shipwreck, and arriving at Thieves Haven, Jessica and Jessica decided to side quest a little bit, as one of the bottles they had picked up along the way had spawned the mutinous helmsman up at the top of the island. Having already fought one of the skeleton lords earlier, this shouldn't have been too hard. However, one thing was very different this time. This skeleton lord was atop one of the highest islands on Sea of Thieves, making his ground pound attack really something brutal. Pirates were flying everywhere. With now just the Athena chest to dig up before finishing their voyage, the Salty Swallow, instead of going to dig that up, did what they always do, and headed straight to Plunder Outpost to sell, which was almost pretty straightforward. Jessica and Jessica truly love what they do. They take in the Sea of Thieves how they believe it's meant to be enjoyed. They aren't professional speedrunners. In fact, speed might not even be a word that they know. They play things smart and slow, knowing that in the end, it will always get them the win. With their voyage now coming to an end, I decided there was one last thing I needed to do in their honor.